And we're live. Hello.
Hello.
And welcome. Hello, Gabe. Hello, everybody. How are we doing?
And
welcome. I'm sorry. Welcome to Crowd the Fun on the Indie Escape Network. I'm CJ Robles from My Manic Mondays.
And I'm Gabe Symbolista from Symbolistic Cynicism.
And today we're doing our show called Crowd the Fun on the Indie Escape, where we help somebody who's already either having a project or they have like a campaign, like an Indiegogo, and we're just here to support them and get them a little bit more of their movie out and you talk about it, see where we're going, because today we have the honor of having on I guess this is just a documentary that's right up our alley. It's called Horror Able, a documentary on disability and the process of art.
With a macabre twist.
There you go. Well, the twist. So, that being said, right now we're doing, we're talking about this documentary that's coming out. So we do have the producer, the writer, the creator, the person behind everything. So let's not waste any more time, Gabe. Let's have her come in. Let's say give a warm welcome. Oh, we're gonna do the. Oh. All right, I thought we were gonna do this. Hello, Cindy.
Hello, Cindy.
Here we go. Can everybody here at the Indie Escape please give a warm welcome to Cindy Sanabria, right? Is that
Sanabria? Yes.
Sanabria, because I have Spanish. So I'm like Sanabria, but Sanabria.
Yes. Well, tomato. But yeah, Sanabria.
Thank you so much for being here with us this evening.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, guys.
Of course.
Oh yeah. So our fans on our network here, they're all about we're the independents, and we're here to help each other out. With the Indie Escape Network, where creatives unite. So a lot of creatives like to get together, and we just like to talk about things and support each other. And we're here to support you in any which way we can. And your project right here at Horror Able, it's already got a good backing, because we're got 2 more days before your campaign closes. And
I believe we finish on Sunday. It ends. So.
Oh wow.
This coming Sunday.
This upcoming Sunday, yes, May the 8th, midnight. So you have like 4 days, I believe.
4 days. Yeah.
Yeah, I have 4 days left, and you're already at 113% from your goal. This is awesome. So anything we can bring in from here is gravy, and I'm saying let's pour it on, because this is awesome.
Dessert. And
if dessert. And if you could, I guess, let us know, because I did a little research on you, Cindy. Sorry, I was watching your interviews, and I was like, well, yeah, no, it was cool. I was like, wow, she's got some like really nice things to say about. I'm a filmmaker, so my way of seeing things and telling stories, and seeing the way you're telling your process, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a great thing. The way she just get it, like curiosity is what started it for you, right?
Well, part that, but like the connection that, I was raised by a family with disabilities, and my sister is, she's disabled. It's been something that she's been born with, and, and so she, so that, along with the love of my love for horror, and the fact that I'm a proud advocate for inclusivity in the community, I figured that this is kind of like on the same wavelength. And I'm actually surprised that, people with disabilities actually face more discrimination than people of color. Doing this documentary has been an experience for me, an eye opener, and a learning curve for me as well.
That's what I wanted to ask you about that. When was it when you started? When was that first part where you're like, "Whoa, this is different"? Was it right away, or that got you, or was it where you're doing it, going through the process, and then you're like, "Oh wow, there's something here"?
It's actually something that I wanted to do for quite some time, for a couple of years. And it started as like, okay, I'm just going to write a book and celebrate, do like these books that come out with like special volumes and just kind of celebrate people each volume. But then
like an encyclopedia like thing
right,
with
but then
each edition being a different or yeah.
right. But I feel like, having like that visual connection with a person is way more valuable than putting my words in a book about them. So I figured, and then the quarantine hit, and and then right before the quarantine, I was already making plans to, to go out and shoot these interviews, and trying to figure out, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? Like, some of these people are like all over, like all over the United States, and then the quarantine hit, and it became a quarantine project. And I was fortunate to get some of the people, like, for example, Michael Berryman on the project, during quarantine. And it took me a year to get him, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
So even in the pandemic, he was busy.
He's a great human being. He's a great guy.
Oh, he's amazing. I love him. He's great. And
she's talking about Michael Berryman right here.
Yeah.
From The Hills Have Eyes. So he's right there on the cover. And
I'm all over the cuckoo's nest.
Yes, and I got to, so in 2020, I barely got into the conventions in like December 2018. I'd been wanting to do them for years, and then when they taken away because of the pandemic, I was like, no. And then when they came in San Antonio, they did one where they had like 4 celebrities, and it was Lisa Wilcox, Ray Park, and I forgot the other gentleman, and then it was Michael Berryman. So I got to talk to him, and I got his signature, which is pretty cool. But he talked about, and this is. Thank you.
He's very hard to get, by the way. He is really hard. He's very popular.
And Gabe and him have a connection together too, so that's pretty awesome that they, that he's still working, and we know like
go Gabe.
What this guy can do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was at Monster Mania back in March, but back in August of last year, the first Monster Mania, it was one of those conventions following the first one after COVID, before one of the first events since COVID had started dying down a little bit.
Right.
Michael Berryman was in Monster Mania Cherry Hill, and it was at a party. And I mentioned to him, I'm writing a book on Tourette syndrome because I have Tourette's. And he said, hold on. And when he was finished, he said, when I'm done with this conversation with this girl, let's go somewhere quiet in the, like, it's very loud. It was in a big party. He's like, I want to talk to you about, because I forgot exactly what it was, but he told me about what he dealt with since he was young. And his father was some scientist or doctor or something.
Right. He explains that in the documentary. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He's also coming out with this book.
This is so awesome.
Yeah.
We're actually. Yeah. Well, I don't want to.
Yeah. Keep the prize.
I don't want to spoil it, guys. So, Gabe, but there is one thing that I wanted to.
He's such a good guy. We have a heart to heart about personal stories, and he really is such an inspiration. Like,
right.
He blew me away. Like, you learn so much about somebody from a single conversation.
What were you gonna say, Cindy, about him?
I was gonna say, I'm glad that Gabe mentioned that, because I wasn't able to get someone with Tourette syndrome on this documentary, but I am dedicating this to a former colleague of mine who had Tourette's. So I'm sorry.
No.
He passed away from cancer, sadly. But he had an ongoing battle with Tourette's, and he was a creator. We made lots of like horror films, sci-fi. He was like really into conspiracy theory films. I could show you a film that he sent. I mean, we made. I got 3, but it was really cool.
I got Joe Ridgely here. Yeah. Let's bring Joe in real quick. He's in the green room. Let me see if he's.
I'm sorry.
Hello, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Are you in here? Are you hanging out?
I was actually loading something, but thank you for putting me on the spot. Hi, how are you, Cindy?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. It's good to see you.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on. I apologize. I'm an orb right now because I'm not.
He's not supposed to be
ready.
here.
I'm not supposed to be here today.
He wasn't prepared.
I called him Hal from 2001: A Space Odyssey because every time he speaks, the orb.
But
Cindy, I was wondering, the last trailer you just sent, did you want that loaded up for tonight?
Yes, but I wanted to know if I wanted to do something special for the people that came on live right now. And this was actually supposed to happen in the metaverse, but it wasn't. It didn't happen. So I wanted to do this as like kind of like a I guess in it, as a kind of like a farewell to the campaign, and this was part of one of the perks. But I'm not sure if it's gonna stay on here or if you can edit it out after the live. Because I only kind of wanted to feature it just for the people on it now. But if it's going to be a problem,
got it. You want me to actually just put it in afterwards then, or whatever you're more comfortable with?
Well, no. If you can play it and then before, hey Amy, and before we before after the recording, is it possible to remove
these
it?
are kind of like archived, exactly what they are.
Yeah.
And once
okay, I get it. So it's not possible. So I'm not sure then.
Okay, no, fair. We have
because
the
it's
first
still part of the
trailer.
Yeah, it's still part of the perk campaign, but you guys can definitely watch it. Only because it's still it's part of a perk that's still ongoing.
That's cool. I will get rid of that then. Are you okay with us putting the first horror able teaser on then?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, let me delete the other one then because I don't want them to get mixed up. May I play it now?
Sure.
Thank you.
All right,
it's seeing all those people there that are trying to realize what was in your head for so long, and now they're trying to build it in reality.
That you can do anything. Don't let your disability stop you from doing it.
I saw Freddy Krueger at age 3, and I was kind of hooked on horror from that moment on.
Horror is one of the most potent tools that we have for that change.
A trusted name in terror. I write horror, science fiction, dark fantasy.
I haven't let my disability stop me from creating.
For Pluto, for Hills Have Eyes, I go, oh, wow, you had skull surgery. I can see the scars. Oh, that'll make you, and then it'll fit the formula.
In Hollywood, it's like, that's as diverse as you're going to be. You can't be somewhere else.
Physical condition, and you're trying to work into the film business, don't quit. My name is William Crane, and I am horror able.
I didn't expect that.
Wow.
Is that the wrong one?
No, that was the
the public one. Yeah, there was a little typo on the I just seen it. on the trailer, but we'll fix that.
I love the pride in their voices. Was just
oh man. Well, I definitely want you guys to watch the second teaser because it's a little more in depth and it gives a little more insight look as to more of the content matter, a little more personal. Even though the second trailer still isn't the it doesn't have everybody that's in the interview on it. We have to make a master trailer or something like that. There's so many people
you actually don't have to. If you ever watch a lot of these trailers for horror documentaries, they show a lot of names, but they never put every single person in the trailer.
Right.
They never do. You don't even have to worry. Don't even worry about that. They never do that for any of these. Even for documentaries about Robert Englund, Kane Hodder, they never put every single interviewee in the trailer. So
I heard my buddy Michael Berryman.
Yes.
And Michael Berryman has been on a number of our shows. I love that gentleman. He's actually done plugs for our old network. So yes, Michael, yes, very much love him. His book's coming out soon, and he's actually trying to get his TikTok page going. So guys, go over to Michael's TikTok and start blowing that up.
Yes.
I'm totally gonna do that.
Cool.
So. I'll start blowing it up with my ticks.
All right, guys. I didn't really intend on being here. I was just loading stuff up. So
everything happens for a reason, Joe. Don't worry about it.
It was great meeting you. I hope to speak to you again.
Thank you, sweetie.
Absolutely. And I will let you guys be. Thank
you,
guys.
See you later, Joe.
See you later, Joe.
I basically just pulled the curtain on Joe. I was like, hey, there you go.
And you're out of here.
Yeah. But on the way in, he was
paybacks are a bitch.
He was back with a vengeance.
He says that, but he gave me the keys to the car, so I'm like, watch out, I'm gonna drive this thing. So that's great. Well, Michael Berryman, when we did that social distancing, like I had to talk to him from like a mic from like 30 yards away, but I talked to him, and he had like a lot of interesting things to say. And one of the things I said, what was your favorite role you ever did? He goes, it was one that never got made. I mean, I got shot, but it never got put out. And he was in The Crow. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
Really?
Yeah, he's the cowboy, the dead cowboy. He had a scene in there, and they shot it. He shot it with Brandon Lee, and then they pulled him out. They just pulled him out of the. And actually, in the storyline and in the comic book, he's a really like prominent character. And I was like, that's so cool that he's
Maybe
like.
they'll put him in the new one. Who knows?
That's true.
That would be cool. Yeah, that would be great.
But and then when he said that, he said, because I got to play an element out of my character, and it's typecast is what I believe you were trying to talk to in the beginning, how people get typecast a lot, and on Saturday, on Sunday, the David Lee Madison's End of the Night, they had another a person with disabilities. They did a documentary on one on their own, and one thing they said, there's a lack of disabled actors. And I don't think, if you want to, can you please explain that? Because like when I hear that, I don't think people really understand like an actor and someone that's disabled. It's like.
I don't think that there's a lack of disabled actors. In fact, I think there's many out there. I just think that they're not given the proper representation and they're not given the chance, so they can get up there. I mean, when I released this campaign, I was like astounded by like so many people bombarding my DMs, parents thanking me for doing stuff like this because they had disabled children, horror creatives reaching out to me to see if we still had, time to, fit them on the documentary or to thank me and support the project. So this has been like a project that has really brought like the community, like it's really starting to really show the community that's already been there. You know what I mean? So Horror Able, I just started a group because so many people kept reaching out to me. I was just like, wouldn't it be cool to just not make this a documentary, but make this a mission? You know what I mean? Like let's keep this ongoing, because even when the film dies out, I still want there to be some kind of platform where horror creatives, everyone can get together, but all on the same page of celebrating, with the primary focus of celebrating people with disabilities, horror creatives with disabilities. Like sometimes I don't even think that people realize how many people are out there with disabilities. For example, I had somebody, a friend of mine, Jack Criddle. I don't know if you guys know him, but he owns a sci-fi museum in London, I believe, or Scotland, something like that. Europe. Okay. Brexit.
London is big with those props and special effects. Yeah.
Right. And today he posted about a horror writer, a famous horror writer, and there was nothing about him stating that he had a disability. And then I found out that he had something called photophobia that he suffered with for many years, and it's kind of like a medical condition that has to do with like extreme sensitivity to light. And it's just, you'd be amazed how many people are walking around.
I know somebody who has that. When she really walks around in the sun, she wears like a scarf. She's like schwitzing with like very hot, but even when it's bright out, like she's covered her entire face and head. And she has glasses on, whether it's sunny or not. She's just very sensitive to older woman. The sweetest woman. Yeah.
So that would be like a something that would be classified as an invisible disability, which a lot of people lack awareness. And there's a lot of. I feel that if we can help break the stigmas by educating people, and if you bring these uncomfortable topics to the forefront, then they probably wouldn't be so uncomfortable if you just like. It's really more about educating people, and people, criticize or may not, what they don't understand, basically. So if they, but
people hate what they don't understand. Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. So I figured education is really important too, because without it, we're never going to get to the next level. And, in horror, yeah. I feel like there's so much. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I feel like we're actually missing out because there's so much creativity out there.
There is.
But we're judging people because they may walk with a limp, or they may be missing a limb, or they may have some kind of psychological problems, and you're taking their creative joy from them, the creative process, you know, that in some cases compared to people, you know, that don't have you know, disabilities or these special abilities, you can actually see in some cases they outshine us.
Yeah.
They really do. They're very talented in so many ways, because in certain, you know, where they lack in certain areas, they're actually heightened and gifted in others. So
yes. And the thing I was picking up not you were saying this, but people kept bringing up the Rain Man comparison to autism. And
yes.
I was like, dude, Rain Man was like 92. Why are we still? Why? Oh, because we're not talking about this. I mean, have you seen Temple Granite? Have you seen that movie?
I have not.
Claire Danes, she plays Temple Granite, and she's a high functioning autistic person, a person with autism. Sorry, and she it's a great movie. And when you see that, it helps. Like I'm big on behavior. That's like the whole.
I have to write that down.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's shot. Oh man, the perspective that it's shot in is so beautiful, and that's why I have my manic Mondays. I have manic depressive, so it's like something like I don't get upset if somebody does like a stereotypical like, oh, you're having a bad day. No, I'm not. Stop me. I'm like, mine doesn't work like that. I do get upset, but I go down. Like I go real deep in depression. Yeah, I get sad. So it's like if you make fun of me with that, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just you can't see it like right now. Like it's like, oh, it looks normal, you know. But it's like, but I'm like, I don't let it eat me up. I just keep going. And if I come off as
CJ, I will hug you right now.
Thank you. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't. It's like this disabled thing. It is something that needs to be talked about, and just in general and anything. Also, you know, just like I don't know, I think the fact that people. See it. I don't know. I'm not like that though, and I know Gabe's not like that. And we're like, I don't see something and watch it and be like, oh, everybody's like that.
I relate with you with CJ a lot on this, because I'm very open about my Tourette's, but a lot of people aren't. But the thing is that I go through hell every day, but most people don't see me at my worst state. When I'm social, my tics are like invisible almost. So, you know, people, oh, your Tourette seems so much better. But when I'm not around a lot of people, when I'm home, that's why my version of doing work is sitting at a cafe and doing work, because my tics are at their least when I'm in public. It's almost like psychological. I played piano 26 years. When I sit and practice, when I was, my tics were different. When I was younger, it was different. But now, when I sit and practice, I go through hell. But when I play from an audience, the fear of screwing up psychologically takes over, and I play better when there's a ton of people around me, as opposed to getting more nervous when there's a ton of people around me.
That's interesting.
And yeah, and you know, I also, you know, I joke about my Tourette's. That's that it gets me. And we're talking about special needs films. There's a lot of films in Tourette's that I absolutely love. But I can tell you something. One of my Motherless Brooklyn is probably one of my favorites. To the Tick Code as well. The one Motherless Brooklyn's a new one with Edward Norton where he has Tourette's, and I cried watching the trailer because I could relate to stuff. I could relate to half so much of what in that movie. But there's one movie I watched when I was in high school, probably the greatest disability movie I've ever seen. What's his name? He's from Shameless.
William H. Macy.
William H. Macy wrote and starred in a TV show, a movie or series called Door to Door, where he played a door-to-door salesman who had a cerebral palsy, who nobody wanted to buy from, but he ended up changing the face of a town. And it follows him from when he was like middle-aged doing it to when he got older. And he played the character and wrote the story. And I watched in high school. I was bawling, and it was probably one of the greatest productions.
My hairs are standing.
Yeah,
I was getting right here too.
I have to rewatch it. Look up Door to Door.
You guys need to send me a list of movies, please.
Yes. We'll tell you that.
I
can promote this on More Able, please. Like I want to encourage more of that, because people are looking for films that, you know, represent people from various walks of life with different disabilities. So it's so important.
I have friends who have cerebral palsy who some have life better than others. So I agree with you on that 100%.
Let me catch up real quick with the comments. No, it's not. You're good. Let me just catch up real quick with the comments, because Amy's commenting. I want to get them in here. She says, I did not know that Michael Berryman had a TikTok. Well, I'm going to look that up. I'm actually going to bother him right now. Let's go. Everybody, let's just go. And then she also did.
Hold on. I'm going to do it now. I'm just gonna
she says, see, Temple Granite was incredible. So even Amy enjoyed it. So, And then the producer, the man himself, says, "This is an awesome episode. Thank you all. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for getting this together."
Just
you know, yeah, it's like it's awesome that we're able to. And I think as much as we can, we're gonna be plugging this, but it's like I like this connection that we're getting. Like we're working our way through the meat of all this, and we're able to connect. And I'm happy you're listening to us because we're literally just sharing, our points of views, and that's all we can do. And if we can represent who we want to represent, but when we get, I don't know, what I'm trying to say is like when people say that you're like this, you have to stay like that, it kind of messes with me a little bit. I'm like, we can be anything. I honestly think like I think people get caught on the outside, and I'm like, why?
People are quite often told what they can and can't do, whether it be because of their disability or because they're not learning something fast enough. But of course, as we all three of us know, people with disabilities have been told that way too much in their life. You don't have to witness somebody being told that to know it. It happens quite often where somebody's told they can't achieve something. They can't, I just want to bring up, I had a friend who had a rare disease called epidermolysis bullosa. They're called butterfly children. He was born with it. It's a rare skin disease that your skin is soft like a butterfly's wings, that kids who have this go through more pain in a day than most kids go through people go through entire life.
Wow.
They don't live up past 30 if they're, and he was told he can't do this. And every time somebody told him he can't do something, he went harder and he did it. He inspired others to do the same.
Yep.
And I learned more about him after he passed away. And I wish I knew him better before, but I became friends with his brother afterwards. And I learned so much about him. And I can't go into it because I'm going to start crying. But
you're going to make me cry, and I hear your voice cracking. So please don't do it. I get very sensitive.
But he's like one of my heroes, this kid. This kid's like one of my heroes.
Oh, well, God bless. And I wish, my condolences to you and his family. But his memory, he lives on through your memory. So it's good that you speak about him. Yeah, he needs to be celebrated as well. And his condition as well, Wow, you just made my hair stand. Oh, wow, guys.
Amy Crabtree says she's in, I love, well,
she's in the doc.
Yeah, she says the struggle with invisible illness are very real. Yes. And then she says, I have lupus. I'm in horror. Well, Cindy lets me tell my story. Oh, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
One of my childhood friends that I grew up with her. She got lupus when we were like 22 or 23, I think. And she's had it for like the last we were like 16 years or something. She's living with it. And she does post videos of her skin, and she does post it. And it's to me, I don't know. I can see through a lot of things, but I understand there's other people that they'll like stare or look around, and it does kind of hurt to some of them. So to them, if you make it a normal thing, which some people do, I don't need to see this. What is that? And I'm like, well, don't look. You can look where you want, but eventually we're still here. Like people are still there, whether and a physical ability when you lose something like that, it's daunting, but they do strong things, and a lot of us, we get stuck in our own head. Like when somebody tells me something, it's one thing, but it's always when I tell myself something, I'm like, damn it, you're the one that sucks.
We gotta remember, just because we feel weak doesn't mean we are weak. It's just sometimes because we have a feeling doesn't mean that feeling is authentic. The strongest person can actually be weak at times. The weakest person, or somebody who too often feels weak, is they're always whatever it is, stronger than they like you're stronger than most people don't know their own strength. Some people say that to somebody who's physically strong, but it also applies to people who are emotionally and psychologically strong but don't always notice it, or don't always see it when for what it is, or sometimes are in self-doubt, which other outside influences and sources make them feel that way. Believe me, I've been there. I'm sure a lot of us have been there.
So I have a question real quick. Sorry. So where does Bloodstained Films, where'd that come from?
Bloodstained Films was a company that I had started some time ago, about a decade ago. But it was just kind of like a spin-off of my writer scene. So I had a company called Writer Scene, and it was an independent production company with aspiring filmmakers. And it went on for a few years, and we made 40 films together. It was comprised of 10
Dang.
filmmakers. Yeah, and we used to hold like so I was like obsessed with the whole like the beginning, the early pioneers of film. So like the D.W. Griffith, Thomas Edison, you know, and how they put together their shows. So they would have back then cinema, you know, the camera.
The Magic Lantern.
I'm sorry.
Magic Lantern. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like well, they couldn't the film. You know, the cameras were like super huge, but they could only record a certain amount of film footage, right? So they never had like these feature-length films. They were always like these shorts or segments or scenes. And so what they would do is they would make variety shows, and they would incorporate them with performances, with acts like jugglers, fire eaters, belly dancers, whatever. So it paying homage to that craft and how it all started, we put together a Writers Sing variety show, and it was an ongoing show for a year. So every season we'd come up, 10 filmmakers would make 10 films. So and that's how we got 40 by the end of the year.
God, I just to learn that. Real quick, to go back to Amy, she said, that's right. We are truly stronger than we realize. Our illness don't define us. So
absolutely.
Where you go, Amy?
Yes.
And that's cool. I like how you just 40 films. I like that willpower that everybody's just like, we're gonna do this and we're gonna get it going. Because practice, repetition. You're gonna get better at things.
It's like a business plan. You plan it out. 10 filmmakers for what was it? 4 films and 4 filmmakers, 10 films or something like that. Like you plan it out. Like you have like a blueprint for movies.
Yes.
So I did want to talk real quick because you have someone in this movie, Mr. William Crane.
Oh yes.
In your movie, and he is the creator of Blackula. Yeah,
I love William.
how was it working with him? I was like, I
knew William before the documentary. We've been very good friends. He's super sweet. He's such a good man, and I reached out to him like kind of like a fan. You know, I wanted to reach out to him because a lot of people don't know that he was very big in television back in like 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way up to 2000. And he worked on, you know, series like Dukes of Hazzard, The Mod Squad. I can't think of some other ones, but they keep going. They do. He's worked on various shows. And I was interested on his perspective when the whole Black Lives Matter thing happened and the cancel culture thing came out. And I found it very interesting when people were like protesting Dukes of Hazzard. And I'm like, but wait, there's a Black director on this. And I'm curious as to what he thinks, you know? So I reached out to him about that. And, you know, and then we just became really, really good friends throughout the pandemic. And like speaking almost every day. You know, he's writing something now. And so I was, I thank God I was given, you know, permission to read it and give my feedback and critique on it. So stay tuned because there's something big coming from him.
Oh,
he's not out of the woods.
Yeah, and that's
so. I asked him.
No, go for it. No, you.
No, I just asked him if he would be interested in coming on because he has something that he has a disability.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
We couldn't hear. I'm sorry.
Not everybody.
Sorry, Cindy, you're breaking up a little bit. 1 second. Let's let you catch up.
He is born.
Oh, she can't hear me.
Hello.
Sorry, Cindy. Let you catch up real quick. I couldn't hear anything. 1 second. Let's see if it.
You froze. You were saying he has a disability. That's where.
Yes, I said his disabilities. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Now we can. Yeah, you're good now.
Oh, okay. I said that his disability stems from he has a perspective of disability on ageism, and I wanted to add that perspective because not everybody is born with a disability. You know, people can get it. You know, you can get an onset of any kind of disability any time, at any point in your life, and you'll see that on this documentary that not everybody was born with their disability. You know, some people had, you know, that it was an onset later on in life. And I feel that's very important to address too, because it's an eye opener, because at any given time you could become a person with a disability. So it's very important about
and even in this field, in this film, I mean, in this field, ageism is definitely in your face all the time, and it could be discouraging to someone who is an actor or a writer, or performer, you know, and it's that's the way you eat, and it can mess with you like that, you know. But yeah, I'm glad. I like pioneer people, and yeah, because he did the TV, and then he went into movies and went back to TV.
Right.
Is that So I was like, man. And it was just, I feel like when you do a shift like that, there's something there that it's just got like, it's like, why does he have to, like, was it somebody's like making it harder for you? What was going on?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I think it's part that, and there was definitely more work for him in television.
Okay.
So that's kind of why he did that. And he still has, you know, he wants to complete. I don't know if people realize, but Blackula is a part of a trilogy that's still not done.
Interesting.
Oh,
really? It's
right.
not completed.
No. So Blackula was the first. Then the Gila Monster, aka Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Black, right? And
I like that.
Right, and that's the second film, and then there's the third installment, or supposed to be anyway. That was his goal for that.
Well,
that project.
The composer Stravinsky said a true artist's work is never completed, completed, only abandoned. Like, you know, or something like that. It's I just speaking to an actor reminded me of that. Yeah, it's not no work is ever completed, only abandoned. You just got, you know, it's no work is ever done.
Once a writer, always a writer. Once a creator, always a creator. It's in your blood. Yeah.
If you try denying that,
really dies out is the flame in us. If we let it. Right?
And if you deny that, that thing is gonna pop out on its own. It'll start poking out. It'll start like, I can't be contained. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
You have to suck my own blood to gain some creativity into this.
I have here. Well, I got two things. We get Amy's first. Amy said, "Oh, will we get a third installment of the Blackula series?" Maybe.
I would love that. We'll see. I don't know. I leave the master to his work.
Let's see what he does. And then we have this comment here from a Joe Ridgely. He says, Cindy, what was your process creating Horror Able? Was it difficult getting it off the ground? We tend to get a lot of indie filmmakers that tune in that would love to know. So what was the process of getting from
Horror Able is actually an experimental documentary. I'm competing with the big dogs here with Red Cameras, you know. We had a very different way of capturing these videos. And we're incorporating a lot of creativity. So there's a lot weighing in on the editors and the animation, and because we do have an animator on this, and so it is an experimental film because I've never done this mode of, you know, of interviews or, you know, but I feel like as a filmmaker, it's always good to explore new venues. I mean, I've picked up Rolex camera. I've shot with 8mm cameras and Bolex cameras. And, you know, I take it back to, I admire people like Francis Ford Coppola and the work that he did in Bram Stoker's Dracula. So if anybody ever,
that film, that's my favorite.
Oh my God. It's a masterpiece. It's on my top 10, but
my number one
if you've ever seen,
all time,
yes. Have you ever seen it behind the scenes?
Some of it, yes. I've seen when I even seen one of the behind the scenes where Francis Ford Coppola almost Gary Oldman almost broke into a fight with him and walked off set because they had a disagreement, something when he was in the red robe and the hair. I
need to eat.
I seen that clip because I saw the end of that clip. Gary Oldman kind of goes into it and then he just storms off like that, and he's in the costume.
That's actually pretty funny, right?
Actually, I heard that Gary Oldman and Winona Ryder, they shot one scene, and then apparently they hated each other for majority of the production, and they had to be professional, all the way through. Listen,
wow.
David Arquette and Courtney Cox got divorced right before they did Scream 4, and then they did Scream 4 together, and then they did Scream 5, and they acted professional. So people who can act so well with such good chemistry while also hating each other, like in Bram Stoker's Dracula, that's great acting.
That's amazing acting. And well, that's a professional. You know what I mean? You don't let your anger or personal stuff get in the way of your work, right?
100%.
At the end of the day, I've had my differences with people, and I rather say my piece to them, and then and just kind of push it, not carry it on, especially when you deal with things like this where you have to like be the face of people with disabilities, and like really, there's a lot of people writing on my professionalism, so
yeah,
I have to maintain that, and and be a voice of for people that are the voice of the voiceless in a sense, because
yes,
but we want more. We want it to trend. We want them to be vocal, and I want to see like a flood of people coming, stepping into the scene, like a new heart, in the horror scene. And I'm like really surprised because there are a lot of people out there with disabilities. Some may disclose it, some may not. But I was just reading an article about the guy from Dancing with the Stars. I forgot his name. He's a deaf actor, and he's behind representation, like actual representation. So he wants to see more deaf actors playing deaf roles, and that's
100%.
That's very important for a lot of people with disabilities. Like some people want to see the actual representation. Some people are just like, well, actors are actors. And at the end of the day, if you can nail something like that, but there's something with the authenticity, if you have a deaf actress that's signing, and then you have actual deaf people that's wise, you know what I mean? I would want to be as authentic as possible.
Have you seen A Quiet Place or A Quiet Place 2?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
That girl is really deaf in real life.
She is. Yes, she is.
She's phenomenal. She's and like
yes.
So we are starting to see that. We are
authentic casting. Yes.
Yeah. Especially I think also independent filmmakers, like I myself, like I'd be like, if I know somebody in like a wheelchair and I have somebody disabled, I'd be like, I'm just gonna use them. Like I already know somebody. Why am I gonna, and if they're comfortable to do acting, I'd be like, I'll just do it. Let's meet. Because it seems a lot. Everybody I meet always wants to do acting, but that first step, they don't know how to do it. And I will be honest, acting's freaking hard. So it's like, but if you can get on the same page, you just, if you get along, just do it. Joe Ridgely did say guerrilla filmmaking at its best. Too cool. Thanks, Cindy. I'm looking forward to seeing Horrible.
Thank you, Joe. He's like my favorite fan. My favorite friend.
Yeah. I mean, I think one thing I have a note here was going through everything. I wanted to know just personally, what are you going to come away with this? Like, what is the one thing that when it's all said and done, what are you going to be able to say like, all right, I'm happy with that.
I would be happy if I get this on a network. I want this to be shown to as many people as possible. The main goal is to create awareness. The less people that see it, the harder it is to get that message out. So my main goal is to get it to be seen as many, viewed as many times by as many people as possible. And usually a network, like a big network, like maybe Netflix or something like that, can do that, where you get 1 million, viewers or more. That's the goal, because we're really trying to spread that message and really stress the importance of inclusivity and accessibility, so inclusivity is not just a topic on this documentary, but we're really stressing accessibility too, because you will find that there is a lack of it. And not just in our industry, just, in general, I was with someone, I spoke with someone that was in a wheelchair, and he told me that he had said that they had to screen something in a building that had no elevator access or something like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, you gotta think about things like this. And especially like living in a society today where there are laws against stuff like that, and people just don't give a shit. Excuse my language.
That's okay. It's okay.
I have Tourette's. Please, just blame me.
I
joke about it not to let it get to me. Yeah. No, but I want to mention. Have you tried are you considered trying the film festival circuit? Because I think that's
absolutely. Yes. Well, that's
not just horror. I mean, film festivals in general. This could go to horror film festivals and regular festivals, which is great
Right.
about it because it's a film with a cause, with a message, but it's also something that applies to horror. So you could send it to horror film festivals, but you could also send it to like all types of film festivals, small and large, you know, from all over. Like I worked the Long Beach Film Festival. This is totally something I would suggest sending it to in the Long Beach in New York. I mean, California too. But you could send this everywhere. It does not hurt to send it out to every film festival you can, because that really would be to get into that circuit and to get it, you know, out there and well circulating. No pun intended. Would be amazing.
Absolutely. Well, that's one of the main goals for the film, and we set our goal like relatively low. But we're really like the goal that we're trying to reach is 5,000, and we went a little over 3, but it wasn't. I'm sorry.
Oh, the budget, you mean?
Yeah, only because the more money that we get, the more places that we could submit. You know, the more festivals, and as you guys know, festivals they're not cheap.
Nah,
you know?
they're not cheap.
I spent like about $800 submitting a script last year, and I didn't win. So that's $800 down the drain. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
pretty much.
it's like just to lose or just to be like, sorry, you did not make it. It's like, what? I just applied and sent the money, and then like a minute later, you're like, sorry, you didn't make what?
Right, I was just
like it's like a bot that scans it. Like, oh no, like it's sort of like buying a lottery ticket, like for $100. Oh no, you didn't win. Sorry.
Yeah,
like, just scans the script. No, not good enough. Like nobody actually reads it. Like,
look at Joe. Look at Gabe giving advice to a film.
It was not intentional, Joe. I know I'm Jewish, but stop with the guilt.
Oh, you'll get to know Gabe. You'll get to know
I have a lot of Jewish guilt. But guilt is another word for remorse and conscience, though. We got to remember that guilt is not necessarily a bad word. It's also a word for remorse and conscience. And some people take the word guilt out of context, just like a lot of things are taken out of context, including, you know, when somebody expresses how they feel, whether it be about their disability or towards, you know, listen, there are people with disabilities who use it for good, and unfortunately there are some out there who don't use the empathy as they don't give empathy like they want, but I'm sure they have their reasons. Like I'm sure they dealt with something that pushed them in the other direction. Listen, there are things I open up my mouth about, but not out of hate or disrespect, but like there are things I see and witness that make me angry and upset. But I don't blame my disability. I don't blame my own experiences. But I wouldn't like people say, oh, but you're bothered because what you deal with. You know what? I hate to see what other people deal with, not just myself. Right. I don't just care about myself. I just also care about select people. I hate to see pain. When you deal with pain for so much of your freaking life, like you hate to see that. Like, listen, there's also a quote that the cure for pain is in the pain, but not everything should revolve around pain. Like, yes, pain is like, I hate my Tourette's, but I also love it because I hate the pain it caused me. But my life I could have been a completely different person if I didn't have Tourette's. There would be people out there who I helped through some things that if I wasn't there, like there are people who, if I didn't have them, I would not be here today. There are people who are no longer my friends if they were not with me, that, you know. So, but I actually wanted to ask you, what part of production are you up to? Are you in post or are you still filming interviews?
We're starting post, but they've already started because it's so much footage that they've been working on. Actually, my editor, he has a disability, so he's
So it's not just the cast; it's the crew. I love that.
Right. This is an all-inclusive project, honey. I'm not.
You don't discriminate. You don't discriminate if they don't have a disability.
You can't talk about it, right? You got to be about it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
You can't talk about it. You got to be about it.
But you don't discriminate.
And I feel like.
I was saying you don't discriminate.
Well, actually,
you'll
see my editor on the documentary because he's also one of the interviewees.
That's pretty cool. He's on.
Yeah, he's so amazing, Steven. Shout out to Steven Heinig and Thomas Ludina, my animator. They're so wonderful. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this for you guys. Like, screw it, because you guys have been so open about your disabilities. I'm gonna let you guys screen it. Just screen the trailer. Screen the trailer.
Screen it.
We still have
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he took it down.
Oh, he deleted it.
Yeah, he said he said he didn't want to get confused, and he said so he deleted it.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
I confused Joe.
you guys started amping me up.
But I'm happy.
All right, let's do it.
I got it, and I think I saw. I kind of knew you were going that way, and I was like, I don't have it right here. But
I confuse Joe a lot, so blame me because I screw with him a lot. So not intentionally, sometimes intentionally.
So two things I did want to talk about. One thing before, because we're getting closer to an hour. I don't know how long you want to talk. That sounds like we could talk forever, but let's see, maybe around an hour. I was going to talk about one was the perks. I had a question about one, but before that, an interview I saw you get really excited about because you wanted and you couldn't land because you having William Crane and Michael Berryman in your documentary is amazing, and you're going for Jamie Brewer.
Oh, wow.
She's not in it.
She's not in it, but you were going for her. Now,
I was going for her. I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm a super fan of Jamie's, and I reached out to her for about a year, and I still during this campaign I kind of snuck it in, like, listen, if you can, because I really, I don't really have I don't want to, but I wanted to really get her on the documentary. I mean, she's a woman in horror. She has Down syndrome, which is, something that a lot of people with what I realized sometimes they confuse with autism.
Yes.
So it's like, I really wanted her to come on and speak, but, I mean, it's kind of like we're at the tail end. So it's like, if it doesn't happen, and then it would really be me at this point begging my editor, like, I know you're already like halfway through the edit, but can we, so yeah,
documentaries could come at the end too.
You'll give him a little more anxiety, but I'm sure it's not much more than he already has.
And my thing, the reason I was asking this because that's somebody like the energy you just gave here. I saw that in the other 2 or 3 interviews, and I was wondering when how was it to ask, like, to get to that door and have to knock on it to be like, hello, like, was it just something you just were like, nah, I gotta do this and that's it, or was it more like, I'm gonna wait on this?
I waited for a little bit, but not because I was kind of back and forth with it. I wasn't sure, like I said, like what outlet, how I wanted to do it. And then it just kind of like, no, I want these people to, say it in their own voices. I want people to see, if they can see people with disabilities, speaking about their disabilities and speaking about their passions and, or whatever, or their conflicts and challenges. I mean, it's a very personal, documentary. Everybody was very open and willing to speak about very personal things, So, and it takes a lot for them to do that. You know what I mean? So because of that, I was very assertive in reaching out to people, like, because it's all about celebrating them. And I received a few no's. I mean, there were people that didn't feel comfortable with speaking with me because I didn't have a disability, and I feel like that's part our fault. For not being welcoming.
Not your fault.
Yeah, I think
not my fault in general, but that's the fear that some people have because they've been stigmatized for so long or discriminated against for so long, and it's the fear like maybe they didn't feel comfortable. And I totally respect that. I totally, I do respect that because I have a sister that has a disability that doesn't feel comfortable with speaking to everybody.
I think if you have a relative, somebody close to you, immediate family who has a disability, you feel their pain, you see their pain.
Absolutely.
So that almost constitutes, but not necessarily. But that's sometimes you got to not open that way. But I might not have a disability, but I have a loving sister that I'm very close with who something, because I'm not going to give you advice again, about that.
So Elena Damewood said, I feel the same way with my epilepsy. Gabe is correct. Us with neurological issues seem to underlooked.
Yes, my sister's epileptic. I'm glad she came up. You see how you see this? Like you see how connected we really all are, and Elena,
people stare at me. I still have people stare at me all the time with my tics in public all the time. Even when they act up, and it makes me self-conscious, and it only makes it worse.
It exacerbates it, right? Because of the
yes, that's the exact word I use. Yes,
right.
At least they're just looking at your tics and not your fleas, Gabe, and that's okay.
Okay, Joe used that joke on my first time on the Indie Brigade, but 2 years ago. But I'll give you credit for the moment.
I didn't know that. I got because Gabe does the puns. I'm always around him. They rub off on me. And I would just say puns once in a while, and it's bad because I got a 3-year-old, and I do dad jokes with my puns.
Well, you practice on your boy, the dad making dad jokes.
Oh God, they just come out.
You don't have to have kids to be a dad. You just got to have the dad jokes. That's
right. Everybody could be a dad.
Yeah, my wife and I decided not to have children. The kids are taking it really hard.
So Elena also said she is correct. It happens to a lot of us with autism as well. And also, it's not that it's the way society treats us. Yeah, it's the way society treats us. And yes. It is. It's just, and that's the thing. If we were going to go looking through the scope of the cinema lens, then let's just, we're here too, It's not just that big Hollywood one or the where you need to go purchase things and go and be part of stuff. No, it's just, we're here. We're filmmakers with filmmaker support. And I didn't realize the independent cycle that I went into, or the system I went into wasn't independent, and now it's all independent. And I'm like, oh, I love the people more. Then they make me come to their projects. They make me want to get better at my projects. It's only because that independent, you can talk to somebody else and we can have this conversation. And I see this synergy is how they call it. I see all this synergy going on, and it's great. So I did want to talk to you real quick. You got a perk here that's really nice. Even though your campaign is almost over, you're still getting more money. We get as much as we can. Can you please talk about this featured film credit digital perk? I just see the included items are special thanks, first look, a digital teaser, and then it also has a William Crane personalized video.
Yes. So we have the William Crane fan perk as a separate entity. It's also a separate perk that's a little bit less than that. But so basically, people, this is a new thing now. Everybody, they're paying celebrities to do personalized videos, happy birthday videos. Hey, 10-second videos, right? And I'm like, this is William Crane. This is a man that made blaxploitation history. I'd pay $500 or $1,000 for that. You know what I mean? So I asked him if he would be willing to do that, and he came in he's been so supportive on this project, and and I thank you, William. He's probably not watching right now,
he'll see eventually.
He's out there. I love him so much. But so thank you so much for participating in that and helping me out with that too, because it really means a lot to him too. And like I said, this is all a learning curve for everybody. People are kind of, William Crane, even with some of the questions, he was like, wow, I didn't even think about that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's been a very interesting experience. And, I'm so proud of meeting of all the people and having all the people that's been on it, and thankful to everybody that supported it, whether they donated it, contributed, shared it, it's not just me. It means a lot to it. It really means a lot to so many people on this documentary. And people are watching, trust me. They're like, oh my goodness, and they're even doing their part. It's really been a big team collaborative, with people that's part of the documentary and not, but all on, the same wavelength. We're all we all have this common goal to get these people, get these people to the light, get their stories.
That's a project. You have a start and a finish. Does this include the IMDb credit on this? If you get the perk?
So the IMDb credits have already been taken. I had an associate producer perk, and that was snatched up literally in a day. So we already have our associate producers. Not unfortunately, but I'm sorry that I couldn't offer more than that. I just didn't want, it's an independent project. It's and this was an investor perk, but the digital perk is an investor perk as well. So basically, if we do sell the film, then you'll get your perks. You'll get everything that's promised to you in, your thank you, your digital trailer, your personalized video from William Crane. But then in addition to that, You get a credit on the film, so you will see your name on the film in the end credits as a special thanks to our perk contributors. But there's not a credit. It's just a thank you credit in the film. There's not an actual IMDb credit. The associate producers are the only ones that had that. But if the film does get sold or something positive happens where the film, gains money, then those people that purchase those perks you'll get your money back plus a 20% return on that investment that you gave us. So it's not much, but
investment approach to it.
But you're getting your money back plus 20%. I mean, that comes in handy.
So so that is good. Like you're putting in and you're getting back. So just by saying that, and I'm sold. That's all I needed to hear.
Great.
I'm gonna get the perk. I'm going for
it.
All
right, thanks.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna. It's basically being a flex move right here. I did this on Monday. With Terry's movie.
Flex Mondays. I like that.
So what happened was my show on Manic Mondays. I kind of came into. I saved the money for this con this weekend I went to, and I was gonna meet Mr. Freddy Krueger himself again for like the 5th time. So I saved up the money. Yeah, so I saved up the money to meet Robert England. A Monster Squad was there. So I'm a huge. Have you seen Monster Squad? Yes.
Yes. So, Wolfman got Nords, man.
Daylight savings time.
That boy farted. I know so many. I watched the crap out of that.
Yeah,
that's awesome, CJ.
I got that. So this right here is the Monster Squad, right?
Get out of this. I'm
all right.
I got the Nards. But that being said, I wrote Nards on it twice. It was fun. Actually, but anyways, I saved the money, and something happened in the lines. I didn't get to do any of that. So when you miss the lines for photo ops, you keep more money. So I was like,
that was meant to be for Horror Abel.
I think so, because I still got.
Everything happens for a reason.
I truly believe that.
I did, and I got that for a reason. But also, too, the thing was, and I was like, you know what? I was there. I was there, no, right? I was there, and I waited in line, and when I started, like, you could just see things. I'm like, we're not moving. Something's going on. And then as soon as something, I was just kind of like, all right, well, you know what? The longer I stay in this line, the more money I make, because I can't spend money here. And then when I came back, I was like, I kind of have a surplus. I really don't need the surplus. Where can I donate it? And filmmakers are helping out. So without me talking so much, let me just purchase it while you're here. Let me do a super flex move.
Okay.
Let me. Yeah,
give us your credit card number while you're at it.
Yeah, I only have the 200 next. It's not gonna make it.
If you guys don't mind, I'll resend a trailer since you just purchased that perk. You get this digital trailer as part of the perk. So we're gonna kind of like,
Now look at this.
Do you want to do that? Do you guys want to see it?
I think we should. I don't mind. And you know what? I'll share.
It's 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, if you can send it to me. But sorry. Yeah, if you can send it to me, go for it. I was gonna share real quick, just to let everybody confirm. Like I said, super flex. Here we are. Thank you for backing the campaign. I'm number 49. Wow. So I'm actually tapped out now, but I just want to say I'm gonna do a little request with my William Crane video. Any advice he has for a person of color, I will take. Just sending me the video. Yeah, or anything. Request? Especially if it could, just anything for filmmaker. I just think of being in it now and seeing it and seeing everybody at their they're doing it. I like seeing people and then people that have done it. I think people like that have been through things, that have gone through things, and they come back and tell us. That's us. It's up to us to pay attention to the signs. It's up to us to know what's going on. But if you have these other people that have gone through it, and then we still got to go through our own version. But let's listen. Right. Let's see what's going on. And I don't know why I just did that. I knew I was gonna do it anyways. I didn't have to do it on the show, but I just because this is not what we do on the show. You just sold me. I was like,
oh my god, I love you for that. Thank you so much, CJ.
And then Gabe coming on, and then he's connecting.
I'm gonna also donate. But I actually the reason earlier I asked about which part of production you're up to is because you mentioned you don't have somebody in the industry with Tourette's on the show yet. But on a horrible Kane Hodder, and I've known Kane for years. His stunt double in all the Jason movies he was in had Tourette's. I don't know how. I don't know if you knew that. I guess you didn't. I don't know if it's too late. I mean, I don't know how you.
Thanks, Joe.
I mean, Joe, our network head, knows Kane. I don't know if that's a possibility to find out from if it's
I try to
late.
get Kane.
Right, but right, and
Maybe
Kane
it's
has his own. I know
possible.
what Kane dealt through, but his stunt double in Jason's movie is Tourette's.
That's
I don't know if
that's
that's worth looking into now. If it's too
Right.
late, I don't. I think your editor might hate me if it did work out, because. But I just wanted to bring that up in case it was even remotely a possibility to look into.
Well, send me his information. I'll send
Joe
the
is
request
the
over to my
person.
editor.
Yeah, Joe is the person to ask because he
So
knows he
Joe,
has his info.
Joe sent me a link, a YouTube link, and I think that's what we're gonna watch. Is that right? Is that about right? Or for the
Yes. Okay. That's an unlisted YouTube link, but that's the trailer.
All right,
All
so
right,
let me see if I
guys.
can let's
Here
see
we
if I
go.
can show
Get
this
your
real quick.
popcorn ready.
All right, here we go, everybody. Let's
Getting
make
my
sure.
soda ready.
All right, let's go. Boom, boom, and let's blow. Let's do theater mode. Everybody ready? Hold on.
Oh, I should narrate that, huh? Can't see the full screen.
Well, is it? Let me blow it up then. Let's go full screen mode. Horror Able is a documentary about overcoming not only fear but so much more.
And I had absolutely no problem with the fact that, you know, the Phantom of the Opera and Freddy Krueger were the first things I saw that looked like me.
My name is Richard Bergen. I am a writer and director, and I have high-functioning autism.
A funny story. When I was 4, my parents always let me watch, my grandparents always let me watch horror films, which my mom wasn't necessarily happy about.
If someone is disabled with just a physical disability, living in a state of constant pain, daily pain, chronic pain, really plays havoc on your psyche.
And then I was born in 1948, premature by a couple of months.
And the AD got word that I was not with one hand and told the person who hired me that they were going to have to let me go because she didn't think that I could carry a box.
Perform, or the ability to create whatever there is that's supposed to be creating, I would hire them right away.
Go out and write something. If you like to film, go out and film something. I think that I haven't let my disability stop me from creating.
How is death gain in animation? How living a visually dominant life makes you a better animator and gives you a leg up as an artist.
Like on Son of the Sorcerer, the first moment is when you walk out onto a set, and you know it's seeing all those people there that are trying to realize what was in your head for so long, and now they're trying to build it in reality.
You have the passion, you have the drive. Don't let your disability stop you from doing it.
What message do you have to people that are either bullies or people that look to disabled people like they're inferior? Is there a message you have to those people?
Burn in hell. I'm a horror writer.
I'm a horror writer.
He didn't let that finish.
Oh, I didn't let it finish?
I'm a horror writer. What else do you expect? What do you expect from me? Like that was the reaction. Like, that's my editor, by the way. That's soundbite is Steven.
I thought I could have sworn that was you. I thought that was you speaking now, asking us, and I realized, oh, that's part of the voiceover.
Yeah,
I almost answered it, and then I realized, wait a minute, her mouth isn't moving. That's in a voiceover. I'm like, I almost answered that question. Like, that would have been awkward.
Oh, see.
I think him including my voice is a personal poke at me because he's been wanting to include me in the documentary. I'm like, no, Steven, it's not about me, you know.
But I gotta say,
the trailer is okay. The trailer
He didn't really want to take the shine.
I admire you for that because I'm 100% like that. Like, it's not about me, but at the end of the day, we are like a conduit and we need to connect. You're like a medium. You're actually bridging something right here. And that's good. You don't have to have something. You have a vision. You have powers outside of our abilities, other people's abilities, and you're still doing it. So without you, it's kind of hard. It makes it easier. So pat yourself on the back and give yourself a hug because Watching that was amazing. I can't wait to watch this. Now I'm happy that there's a chance I'll get my money back because it seems like that thing's gonna sell. So I'm like,
I'm gonna pat you on the back from behind my computer. There we go.
I did like it. It's and the thing is for that you did it for $3,000. You did it for like $3,000. Like I'm like I don't know. It's like I don't understand. Like that's like awesome that you're able to make a movie. Or no, this is just for the post, or is this for the whole? The 3,000 for the whole movie?
I'm actually the queen. I'm the queen of indie horror. I'm sorry. I have to say this because I've made films with little to no budget for over a decade. You can do it. Learn from Robert Rodriguez, Rebel Without a Crew, right?
I got it somewhere here.
And so my thing is that if you look at things like kids, if you look at films Blair Witch, these films were made with like hardly no money, right? I really feel like it's more the drive, the passion, the content that brings the viewers like Field of Dreams. If you build it, it will come, right?
Yes.
So I was fortunate enough because I really prayed on this. Thank you, God. Because I didn't have the camera that I wanted for it, and this was something that I was fighting a lot because I'm like, damn, it may not be industry standard. It may not, and I was like, it was really conflicting until I found a way to do it pretty much for free because, kind of like the pandemic made that happen for me. So this, the money actually came afterwards, which is why I didn't raise no money throughout the process of filming it. This is where I need the money. I need the money to finish it,
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many non-industry standard cameras are used to make feature-length films. You'd be surprised. Like
this is true, and I mean we're indie horror. I mean we're indie filmmakers, right? At the end of the day, so you do what you can with what you have,
with what you got, yeah,
right. And I'm all about trying new outlets and and just seeing it because really it doesn't matter. Like I really feel like it's the medium. I feel like it's what we see that's in front of us. There's a lot of films that are out there that aren't made from a lot of money and stuff like that make it, to the standard. I'm happy if, I'm not looking to win an Academy Award. I'm just looking to get it on, just seen by as many people as possible. So however, even if it means that it goes free, to me, it's not what's more important for me is that their message is carried on and actually influence others to come forward and inspire others to work harder
and be more open. 100%.
Right, because they'll see that they can break these boundaries, they can break these barriers, but they need to push through it and know that there's a community that does support them. Right. Because I feel like that's very important. I feel like sometimes that's where creators, what we lack the support. If we're fighting against each other to competing, how is anybody benefiting? You know what I mean? But when we come together, as a community.
That's the thing. Some people just desire conflict or competition. It's not necessary.
I get it. Yeah.
I'm not making excuses for that. But but listen, my favorite horror franchise, the producers mortgaged everything, and it was a low budget, 1.2 million horror film, and it became one of the most successful horror franchises of all time. The Saw franchise. The producers mortgaged their house, everything, and they weren't sure if it was going to take off. It went to Sundance, and it had such a reaction. They said you're going to put this in theaters, and they didn't think it would go that far. They thought it was going to be straight to DVD, but Sundance took it off, and it became now there's 9 films, and it's one of the most. It's over $1 billion of ticket sales.
Yeah.
From 9 films. That's amazing. Well,
No, not my favorite horror franchise. I mean, I know.
Some your favorite? Oh, gotcha.
My favorite horror franchise. No, I wish.
Oh,
well, I know some of the people involved, but I know some people involved. The Saw franchise. It's my favorite. Saw.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, it's and now one of the guys who created it was like 20 at the time, 20-some-year-old Australian, 20-some-year-old Australian guys. Put together the short film, pitched, and now one of them is directing like Aquaman and one of the Fast and the Furious movies, and The Conjuring. It's amazing.
Oh, wow. Isn't that like a James Wan production?
James Wan. He's one of the creators of the Saw films.
He's doing a lot on Netflix. So he just did that.
The audio thing. I forgot what it's called.
Malignant.
Malignant. Malignant is one of them. Yeah, Malignant is one of them. But he did that show with the audio and the ghost, the audio with the ghost and the audio or something.
Right. Archive 81. There goes.
Yes.
There you go. Look at that. Digging to the brain.
Yeah. Well, James Wan, like I feel like he, I love how he and I know like some people have conflicting thoughts about him as a director personally, but honestly, I feel like he's a great creator, and I feel like he has gone above and beyond to try to attempt to make something, things kind of like out of the box.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he's a cliche. He'll take something that's cliche, like a slasher film, and put a spin on it.
Yes.
And he did that with the sci-fi series in Archive 81. That was one of the most suspenseful series that I have seen. It was like super suspenseful. I was just like, what the heck?
I have to watch it. Unfortunately, it got canceled. Swamp Thing too, and the Swamp Thing show he produced. I was into Swamp Thing before I got into horror films, and when that was adapted, I'm like, this is like the most nostalgic thing ever. It's not just from my childhood pre-horror. This is horror. And when they announced that, and I'm like, this is the greatest. I've been waiting since I was 4 years old for this.
That I loved his approach with the Giallo film Malignant. Like I liked his Giallo approach to that. And I love Giallo. I used to be a big Dario Argento fan, like growing up and stuff like that. So I loved all the Giallo films. And I actually between the Malignant and Dario Argento, like I actually was inspired to write my own. And I do have a version of that. Will who knows when I'll release that.
It was like he made a 21st century version of Basket Case, really. If you look at it.
Right, basically.
Malignant is basically a 21st century version of Basket Case.
Right.
Great independent movie, right? And
it was.
And it goes like that. So I can totally tell we're running a little late here. 1:15. You're doing. Cindy, is great having you like this. So we want to just
thank you so much for having me.
Honestly, we could talk. I just think for the show, I don't know. I'm like, let's just keep going.
No, guys, you are the first ones that actually, because I'm usually the one that be like, I have like an hour, but you guys caught me on a late night tip, and I'm an insomniac, so I don't.
You're barely starting.
It's only 11:24.
But
it's
no,
11:24 here. I don't have a bedtime. So it's only 11:24.
No, I'm cool with ending. I'm cool with ending, guys.
I'm a vampire.
Thank you so much. Like, I really
appreciate let's go through these final comments, and we'll plug you in a little bit at the way out. No, we're not gonna do a hard cut. We're gonna
get out of here, Cindy.
No. I was like,
on me, guys. You hear this? Fight for me, guys. Fight for me.
Something about a hard cut.
I saw y'all just the conversation you had started kicking in gear, and I was like, I'll just do this.
Whoa!
And I was like, wow. I want to watch you guys. I was like, I just want to watch. Like, this is awesome. Y'all, there was like a tennis match going back and forth.
I'm going in the elevator.
There you go. So Joe said about the trailer. It looks freaking amazing, and so did Amy. Joe. And Amy made an appearance right now.
And he was on it.
Cindy is truly the queen of taking what little money that she has and making masterpiece. I'm going to learn from you, Cindy, because that's my excuse, and I'm not going to use it anymore.
We don't have the final cut yet, people. I'm not out the woods yet.
There you go.
You make the best.
I'm pretty confident in my team. I'm just.
Amy also enjoyed Juan's Malignant, and then Joe just said, "Thank you, Cindy. Let's do a follow up, please." Yes, when you're after it's all said and done. When the film's done, we'll just have you come back, and we'll probably have something like Crowd the Fun, the After, or something. I don't know.
The Aftermath.
The Aftermath. Oh, me and Joe.
There you go. Well, I'm gonna solo you, Cindy, so it's just gonna be on you, and let us know what you want to talk about the movie, and then we'll go from there. Solo, it's on you in 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Talk about the Indiegogo. We're ending it. So
okay, guys. So we have 4 days remaining on our campaign. So go there, support the cause. The more you could donate, the more venues and the more places that we can get it out to, the more festivals we can reach out to. So every little bit helps. It has gone in demand or is supposed to be set to go, but I'm cutting that off by June. So it's basically like it's here and now. So please donate. Horror Able, Indiegogo. You could also find me on Horror Tour Guide. Slaughter Sin, She Wolf Empress of Gore. I'm on the Horror Tour Guide.com, and I'm on Women of Color in Horror.com. You can follow me anywhere on social media. Horror Able Doc on Instagram, Horror Able on Facebook, The Horror Tour Guide on Facebook, and Horror Tour Guide on IG, and then we're everywhere else like Twitter and even LinkedIn. So come find us. And thank you so much for supporting Horror Able. Horror Able is a documentary featuring horror creators with disabilities. And it really stresses the importance of inclusivity and accessibility. So please help us reach our goal, help support a great cause. And thank you so much. See you later.
See you later. Well, everyone watching, thank you for hanging out. And just for future shows, anybody watching this, she sold me. I told myself I'm gonna buy the perk and see if she sold me on it. And I was just watching all this. I have no money anymore, so that was Robert Englund money. That was Freddy Krueger money that he never got. So I'm handing it to you, and it's just such a circle. But I don't even think I have money like that. I just
thank you, CJ. I appreciate it. I'll send you the rest of your perks. And
thank you.
Now anybody who invests in any of by June, everybody should be receiving their perks. So everything's going out in June once the campaign officially closes in May. And so in June, all your perks, everybody who's purchased perks will go out. Anybody that's done any of the digital stuff will come to you beforehand. So this month you'll receive it. And yeah, thank you guys.
You can never be too perky.
You really can't.
Right when I was about to say, Gabe, what you got? And he just went right on cue.
Words to live by Gabe.
Yeah.
I try.
Well, let's close it out. Thank you so much, Gabe. Thank you for hanging out with me like always. Cindy, we look forward to your project being on Netflix.
Thank you, CJ. Thank you,
going
Gabe.
everywhere else. So we're gonna sign off. Everybody, thank you for watching Crowd the Fun. Wait, I gotta do one plug-in, one selfish plug for us. Don't forget, on Friday we're gonna have IOU on the Indie Escape Network. We have Corey Glover coming with us. He's gonna be talking to Brandy E. Brooks. He's from Platoon, Living Color. So
nice.
Everybody who gets a chance, you like Brandon E. Brooks' show, IOU, Industry Outlaws United. I've produced a few shows. They're pretty fun. They're great, informative. If you're a filmmaker and you need to get some information out there, come hang out. Just see how they do it. See the process. It'll start plugging things in your head. Brandon is like not just like an encyclopedia of experience and knowledge. He's just a really cool guy to chill with, and the way he does his the way he does his interviews. The way he does his interviews are like you would have never thought when he got started that he had zero experience. I was like, what? I was like, I started a fake show 6 months before we started this, so I could mess up on my real show. Like,
I feel bad because I'm Jewish and it's a Jewish guilt again. Friday night is Shabbos, so I tend to too often miss Brandon's shows. So I really gotta be a terrible Jew and catch his shows as a good friend.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Can I give one shout out before we go, guys?
Please.
Only if you let me solo you again.
Put her on the spot.
Oh, good. Okay. All right, guys. I just want to give a shout out to Michael Dennis Tenney, who made the soundtrack. So you heard a little bit of some of the music in the trailer, that like harp sounding stuff, but he made some amazing music for Horror Able. He donated it. So thank you very much, because if you see Night of the Demons, or The Brain, or Christopher Walken's The Prophecy, he made the music for that, guy. So I'm like very honored to have him as part of Horror Able. So thank you very much. And thank you to my team and everybody on the project and everybody that's a part of it and donated and believes in us. Thank you.
Hey,
okay, I'm gone.
There you go. We'll talk to everybody. We're signing off. Thank you for hanging out with us once again. We are the Indie Escape Network, and this is Crowd the Fun.